I'm sorry not to be sitting on the floor. If you will allow me, let me talk first for a while, and then we can have a dialogue. Shall we? The word good originally meant, I believe, to join, to put together well put together, to join, fitting. And a good man or a good woman is one who is not disjointed, who is not broken up in himself, who is not contradicting his actions, his way of life, and so on. A good house is put together properly. A good meal also implies that it is nourishing, sufficient, tasteful, all that's implied in that word good meal. So, bearing that in mind, what is a good man or a good woman? And what is a good society? It has been one of the important things that the ancient, both in India and in Greece, talked about having a good society. Not necessarily egalitarian society, but a good society, a society in which there was no opposing forces, contradictory activities, a society that was well knit together, put together, joined together. So, if I may, I would like to talk about that. Unless you have something else for me to talk about. The Greeks thought about love with Aristotle, because I heard an interview on a television when I was in California with an Aristotelian professor who was advocating idealistically, logically, verbally, I thought a little bit artificially, because it was not his way of living, that there must be a good society. So when we heard that, I thought a great deal about it. What is a good society? What is a good man or a woman? What is it to have good relationship? What is it to have good quality of mind that is not broken up, that is whole, harmonious, well put together? Like a physical body, if it is healthy, normal, well-fed, proper exercise, is an excellent body. It's a good body. And Why is it so difficult that we cannot be, as human beings, good people? Good in the sense, well put together. Sanskrit word too is gadya. They will tell you in Sanskrit what it means. Also the same thing. So why hasn't it been possible throughout the ages, though men have longed for it, talked about it, written about it, why hasn't there been a good human beings, a good society? Is that possible? To live in a society that doesn't destroy human beings, that doesn't corrupt human beings, that is well put together so that they can live in peace, in harmony, in a sense of good relationship with not only intimate with the intimate person but also with others. Why hasn't it been possible? I'm asking you, why? If that were a challenge to you, challenge being you have to answer it. You have to not just sit back and say, well, I don't care, but you have put in a corner to answer it. Why hasn't it been possible? Is it because society, as well as human beings, given tremendous importance to the individual, to the separate, the one who is not totally involved with the whole living quality of a society, who is only concerned with his own achievements, with his own ambitions, with his own problems, with his own misery. And religions have also emphasized the individual salvation, the individual achievement, all the rest of it. Is that one of the reasons why human beings have not created a good, happy, peaceful society? Is it also because we haven't even given great thought to it? We've never inquired of ourselves and therefore of our society how to live a good life. Not a pattern, not a discipline to make one good, that's impossible. Not an authoritarian state that says you must be good or you will be punished. Or is it because we have never inquired of ourselves how to live a life that is well knitted together, well joined together, a life that's really totally, completely harmonious, without any breaks in it, without any division. And in a school like this, isn't it important that we educate ourselves and so educate each other to have a good mind, a mind that's not put together by circumstances, by experience, by various pressures, but a mind that is whole. Not a thing that is whole is not put together. I don't know if you're following all this, right? And so I'm asking, why you as students cannot possibly lead a good life? I'm using the word good in the right sense. Not respectable life. Not a comfortable life. Not a convenient, self-satisfying life, which is generally considered a good life. Having good meals, good house, good wife, good salary, good job. We are using the word good in a totally different sense. So can we, here, in this small community, live a good life? Because we create this society. Society doesn't come into being by itself. Human beings, by their actions, by their mischief, by their dishonesty, by their greed, by their envy, by their violence, they have created this society. And to be educated is to have a good brain, good heart, good conduct. All that's implied in that word good. Can we do it here? So that when you leave here, you're a good human being. Who is not in himself violent, in himself contradictory. He has innumerable problems, this and that and the other things. But from now on to learn how to live a really good life. Is that possible? You know, the Greeks and the ancient Hindus, and probably Egyptians too, the ancient ones, wanted to create such a society. But it was all idealistic. It was all conceived as a utopia, as something to be achieved. A goal to be arrived at. But that is not, from my point, that's not living a good life. I may have an idealistic concept of a good life, a concept, something that has been conceived by thought. And if I or anyone adapts himself or adjusts himself, conforms to the pattern which thought has conceived as a good life, that's obviously is not a good life, because there is contradiction between now and then. Right? Right? So, a good life is not a concept, is not an idea, is not something to come by through time. Achievement, gradually. But, and here comes our difficulty, to change the way of our life now, which is contradictory. To try to change it. Not take time. If you take time, there is an interval between now and then. In that interval, great many other incidents take place. Great many influences come into being. Great many pressures. So you really never come to the point. Because you're always distorted. You following all? So can we, which is part of our education, part of our daily living, part of our activity, to live a good life now, not eventually. Because after all, the future, that is the tomorrow, depends on the younger generation. You are that. Either you contribute to the disaster of a society, to the madness of this modern world, to the corruption of all that's going on, the violence, the destruction, the wars, the dishonesty, the deceits. Or you yourself are so good. I'm using the word good not in its bourgeois sense of the word, in its mediocre sense of the word, but I'm using the word good in its original sense. Well put together human being. A human being that has no contradiction in himself. No sense of despair, depression, for all those things human beings go through. Can we do this here? It is not merely the responsibility of the educator, but it's each one's responsibility. Don't say, well, you tell us what to do, we'll do it. Or you don't help us to live a good life. But the very understanding of what is a good life, not merely the intellectual understanding, which is verbal understanding, but the depth of that word, the feeling of that word. Because every word has a feeling when properly used. So can you have that feeling of being really good? Not occasionally, of course, then you're lost. But being good, which is not an achievement. When we think of being good, we think of it in terms of achievement, as though something to be achieved, which admits time. Right? You following this? Right? As I explained, when you have an interval between now and then, all kinds of things can take place in that interval, which it generally does. So it becomes a distortion. I want to go there, but many things are preventing me. These become important and I lose that. Or I get caught in this. So, seeing all this, that the older people will not create a new society. They have contributed to all the misery of this society. They are going. You are coming. Can you be a good human being? Which involves responsibility, affection, love, care. All that's implied in that word. Can Brockwood, this school, this community, bring this about? That is really a religious life, you understand? Not the rotten religious religion, that's all stupid. The rituals, the dogma, the worship, the prayers, and that's not religion. But the religious life is a good life. That's why it's very important, while you are very young, to understand this. Because you are going to create a new society. Either that or you join the bandwagon. Or you contribute to the misery of mankind. I don't know if you see all this. See, a good life doesn't mean conforming and losing one's own capabilities, one's own understanding of the wholeness of life. So most people are afraid that when we talk about division and individuals, they say, I have nothing left if I don't pursue my own individual greeds and envies and ambitions. But a good man or good woman includes everything. You understand this? Because he is in himself whole, sane, healthy. Now, can we discuss this? Have a dialogue about it. Or is it too difficult to understand the depth of that word good? As we pointed out, it originally meant well put together, joined, holding together, not breaking up. And modern people don't think about a good society. They have given it up. This is too hopeless, it's gone beyond a redemption. And if you bring that word good, they either become cynical. They say, oh, for God's sake, don't talk about being good, because that's too old-fashioned. or they haven't thought about it, therefore it doesn't mean a thing to them. But if you think about it, go into it, see what is involved in it. That word contains great depth. And most human beings are very shallow persons. They may be highly sophisticated, highly educated, technologically specialists, and so on. But it's all on the surface. And goodness implies from the very depth of your being. You understand? Can we, as a group of people, educate ourselves to this, in this, so that when you leave or when you are here, you are really a good human being? You know, when there's goodness in your face changes. That's not, I'm not offering a reward. Not that you're not beautiful already or whatever it is, but moment it gives you something, a quality that is extraordinary. So having said all this, and more, we can add much more. Shall we have a dialogue about it? Or you don't want to talk about it. Or you have seen instantly, I mean it, serious, instantly, the beauty of that word, the beauty of the feeling of it. You see, a tree that is really extraordinarily beautiful, and when you see it, you capture the beauty of it instantly. That means you are sensitive to nature, sensitive to what people say. You don't have to argue, dispute, offer one opinion against another opinion. But you capture instantly the depth and the beauty and the quality of that word. Is that what you're doing? Or do you treat it as rather sentimental, romantic? It has no place in modern society. How do you regard that? Not only the word, but the meaning of it, the implications of it. The reasonableness, the sanity of it. We were talking about it one day at a lunch table in California, and the person said, for goodness sake, why do you use that word? It's so old-fashioned, it is just gone, finished. There's no meaning in the modern world. We are technicians, we are functionaries, we have to live a life, job, overpopulation, lack of shortage of petrol. What are you all talking about? A good life. It's excellent for Aristotle to talk about it in 500 BC or whatever it was. But now that word is meaningless, rather ugly, rather disreputable word. But I still think it's a good word, in spite of all the people have said about it. I still think it has a meaning, it has a fullness, a great sense of beauty. Now will you, sorry to ask this, sounds rather silly to ask, will you as a human being be good? Whether you're grown up or young. This is a very serious thing, you understand? A good person is the most excellent human being. Excels. So that not in any one particular direction, in technologically, or as a doctor, or as a physicist, or as a good husband, or a good, excels inwardly. Excellent spirit, excellent quality of thinking, excellent virtue. Again, that word virtue is spit upon. No, but that's all too old-fashioned. Excellence in behavior, care, the highest expression of affection, love, all that in that word for me. Not a mediocre human being, which is what the modern world wants. Don't excel, be like everybody else. And anybody who has a little talent becomes extraordinarily important. Haven't you noticed? Writer, a man who can write plays, scenarios, or a specialized doctor, surgeon. Goodness is not a factor of specialization. It excels them all. Are you following all this? Does it mean anything to you? Or you get rather bored and fidgety about it?
I find your question rather puzzling because I don't know what you're talking about, you know.
You don't know what I'm talking about. Good. Then we can have a dialogue about it. I explained, sir, because I was looking at the word good this morning, good in a very excellent dictionary, what that word means. It means well put together. Joined together. Held together. Right? So that it won't break up like a good, well-built house. It'll stand through centuries. But I've used excellent materials, excellent timber. Everything has been put together with great care. That is the meaning of that word good. From that, I asked myself, why is it human beings are not good, right? Well put together, so that there is no cleavage, breaking up. A good house that has no cracks. It'll last centuries. Why is it that human beings cannot live that way? And therefore, as human beings have created a society which is destructive, which is not well put together, and that society is the result of human activity. So can we not be such good people?
Well, the problem is I do have cracks, right? I do have cracks. I'm not well put together, right? So I don't know what it is to be well put together. And I have a...
All right, so let's talk about it. Let's have a dialogue about it.
You know, I can try to picture it, but that's not...
People?
I can try to picture it, what it could be, you know. And I can see the analogy with the house, but I can't really get the deep meaning of it.
What do you say? Answer him. You're all... it's not one-sided dialogue between him and me. Answer him. You understood what he said? He doesn't understand what you mean by being well put together. To be whole. All parts working together. The mind, the heart, the organism, all working harmoniously together like a good engine. Do you understand, sir? Why?
If you look at your body, for instance, you know,
Yes.
your body is sometimes in excellent shape. It's really well put together. It's strong. It's
Yes.
healthy.
So the body is well put together.
But that may not be all the time like that.
No,
You know.
we'll find
May
out. We'll go slowly,
become
go
ill.
slowly. Well put together by various genes and you know all that, organism. But we spoil it, right? Through lack of right food, through overeating, through overindulgence, over-exercise or lack of exercise. We eat food that tastes good but may not be beneficial to the body, right? We smoke, we drink, we take drugs, all goes on, right? All that is destructive to the body, obviously. It's not what I say. Doctors are saying this too. So, can we physically can we not destroy the organism by all this? Wrong food, wrong taste, overeating, smoke, drink, drugs, lack of exercise and all that. Can we do that? Not only now. It's easy in a place like this, say, well, I won't smoke. But the moment you go out, the world demands that you smoke. When you go to a party, everybody's smoking. If you don't smoke, you feel you're out of it. Everybody drinks. If you don't drink, you feel out of it. So can you have a good, excellent body? Go on, sir, discuss it. Because you must have a good body, not a sloppy body. Right? Do you get that? Right food, proper exercise, right amount of sleep, right amount of intellectual stimulation, care. You follow all that's implied in having a good, healthy body. The other day I met a man. He said to me, I haven't seen you for 25 years. How in the name of heavens do you keep like this? You understand what? You're old, how do you manage it? He said, don't bother, you do it properly. Look after yourself, don't bother about me. I went into it. So I'm asking, do you get that here? That you have excellent food, right exercise, mind carefully cultivated, not technologically, not academically, but inwardly also. So if you have good body, then have your good mind. Good means, as I explained, well put together. So that it doesn't break, go to pieces. A good conduct, good behavior. Right, sir? You understand now what I'm talking about?
Yes, I'm getting more into it now.
That's assuming that our bodies are well put together at the very beginning, which is not so in all cases.
No, I know that. Because our fathers overdrink, overindulge, they oversex, diseased and all that, and they have children who they produce, what's happening. So fortunately, you are not in that position, are you?
No.
You may have bad eyesight.
Yeah.
You can improve it without glasses. But you won't take the trouble.
That's not quite so.
No, it's not quite fair. All right. Find out if you can read without glasses. Find out how to improve your eyes. Now, if our parents have misused their lives and have produced children who are deformed or various forms of lack of eyesight and this or that, then we do the best we can. But you are not in that position, fortunately. So most of you have fairly good bodies. But will you spoil it? You can't hear, because we're all vegetarians, we don't smoke, we don't drink, we don't do this, we don't do that. But the moment you go outside, you begin all that.
What about if our brain is distorted?
Vipan?
What about if our brain is distorted?
Then if your brains are distorted, how? By your conditioning?
Yeah.
Huh? Then, if your brains are distorted, because you have been conditioned to be a Catholic, Protestant, a Arab, a Jew, a Hindu, a Buddhist, this or that, which is a distortion. And can you become aware of that distortion and finish it? Not carry on. If you live in Britain, and if you're not the British, with all the implication of that word, and they think you're rather non-entity, you're a foreigner. If you go to Catholic world, country, where everybody is Catholic, and you don't believe in all that stuff, they think you're a strange human being. Not so much nowadays, but you follow all that. So are you aware that your brains are distorted?
Yes.
And being aware, break down that distortion, correct it, be free of it. Don't take time over it, break it.
This does sound a bit romantic to me, because we're talking about physical matter.
Brain is a physical matter.
Yes.
But the brain has been under pressure, which is propaganda, which is tradition, which is your parents, your grandparents, and so on, so on, so on, said you're an Arab. So my brain, the brain of that boy who says I'm an Arab, his brain has been narrowed down, held together. He's in a prison. Now can that boy become aware that he's in a prison and say, look, I won't be an Arab. It's too silly. But if he says that in an Arabic country, he'll have a bad time. His parents will disown him, or kick him out, or shoot him, or something. Will he have the courage to say, I don't mind, shoot me? You see what's implied? I met a boy with his father, a Muslim, and the father asked him to recite the Quran. You know what that is? And the little boy, I should think about 4, for an hour he held forth. You understand? And I said, my God, at that age, you've already so heavily conditioned him, he can never escape from it. That is a distortion. That's a criminal thing to do. So can you, knowing what your parents have done to your brain, brainwash them, say no more. Not only in a religious, nationalistic sense of that word, but also that one has been conditioned to be ambitious, to be greedy, to be, to be dishonest, to be not straight. It's part of this whole conditioning. Can you be aware of it and walk away from it?
Yes, sir, I can't grab this, that you say, be aware of it and walk away from it, It seems not to be there.
I see, that's all right. That's English. Sorry, I won't use this. Be aware of it. Can you be aware of it? Are you aware of your conditioning? It's a very serious question. It's not easy to answer this question. One may be aware that you are conditioned as an Englishman or a Frenchman or an Arab. But you are conditioned much more deeply, more extensively, more subtly. It's easy to say, yes, I've been conditioned, or put in a prison called the Arab. And one can easily throw them off if you are not living in a particular country that's Arabic and that, all the rest of it. You can escape from that, go away to some other country. That's fairly easy. But can all the subtleties of conditioning, the tradition, the feeling that you belong to a group of people, feeling that you believe in something. I don't want to go into the whole nature of this conditioning, but you can see as you begin to look at it, as you become aware of your conditioning, not only the nationalistic, the stupid religious prisons that man has invented for himself, as you begin to look at it, you find out deeper and deeper levels of conditioning. Or, with one glance, see the whole thing quickly.
It's very hard to know what to look for.
Huh?
It's very hard to know what to look for.
I can't hear.
It's hard to know what to look for.
Huh?
He says it's hard to know what to look for.
I'm not looking. I'm just looking at myself, my conditioning, and that reveals the whole flow of conditioning. I'm not looking for one particular type of conditioning. One's brain has been conditioned through centuries. You are the result. Your brain is an old brain. It's not just new brain.
You are suggesting that you can get aware of the whole thing and it will drop away.
I'm saying so. First, to be aware of it, right?
Yes.
Are you aware of it?
No, I'm
Huh?
not.
Why not? This is
Well,
a dialogue. This is a dialogue, you understand? I'm not criticizing you, I'm not telling you should not. This is a friendly dialogue between two people who say, what do you mean by conditioning? Why is this condition take place? Is it possible to be free of the conditioning? That's all we're discussing.
Well, I think I'm not free of conditioning because I'm not at the point that you are suggesting you can be at if you are aware of.
Just a minute, I said, first, am I aware of it? That I am conditioned as an Englishman, Frenchman, German, whatever it is.
Yes, that's easy, partly.
Begin where it is palpable, where it is concrete, where we can observe it, and then go deeper. And first you must look at what actually is, whether it may be on the surface, whether it is superficial or deeper and deeper. So you begin with the superficial and then see, go on, sir.
I find that I'm aware of my conditioning. I'm aware of my conditioning, but I don't know what to do about it. I see
Now,
it.
just a minute, let's examine the word aware. What do you mean by that aware? You said you use that word, I am aware, both of you. What do you mean by that word? Please sir, I'm not trying to corner you, I'm not trying to browbeat you or challenge you, but we are having a friendly conversation. So we say, what do you mean by that word aware? When you say I am aware.
It means that you sense it.
Huh?
You sense that it is there. Being aware is to sense it.
You sense it.
You sense it. Yes, ma'am. Do you sense this room? This auditorium? Are you aware of the walls, the color of the walls, the roof, how the roof is put together, the wood that is used, the shape of it? Are you aware of this? Or you've looked at it and said, yes, very nice, and walked out. Are you aware of this whole thing? The proportions, the height, the quality of the curtains, the shape of the windows, the slope of the roof. Have you taken all that in? Go on, I'm asking.
Yes.
That is to be aware of this. The floor, the carpet. When you enter the room, this hall, don't you look around and see immediately? The proportions, the height, the windows, what is outside the windows, the clouds. You take everything in, don't you? Or you're so occupied, talking, that you never look around. Which is it? I'm not criticizing, I'm not saying. You don't have to answer. So, superficially, one can be aware of this room, of this auditorium. In the same way, superficially, one can be aware of one's nationality, the superstitions, the religions, the dogma, all that. Superficially, you can be aware. Are you? Awareness means be cognizant, be watching, see. When you enter the room, you look at it. You don't say, I don't like the room. I wish it were larger, I wish it were taller, I wish it were different color. You see actually as it is. Now, in the same way, just watch it. In the same way, can you watch your conditioning? Not try to say, I must change it, I must do something about it. Just watch.
To see the room, you're using a tool, which is your eyes and your nerves and whatever. What do you use when you're watching yourself?
All right. Do you watch yourself in the mirror?
Physical mirror?
Yes, mirror. Mirror is physical. When you comb your hair, when you shave, when you put lipstick or whatever you do, don't you watch yourself? See what you are? You might wish your nose was shorter, longer eyebrows, shorter, longer hair. But this is a fact. You might wish something, but the fact is what you see. Right? What you actually see. But you may not like what you see, or you may like what you see. So the fact is you look in the mirror, right? There's no choice. The fact is your nose is short. Or your fact is your hair is long or short. That's a fact. I'm light brown, that's a fact. I might wish I were lighter, because that's the fashion. Or I might wish I were taller, but that's not the fact. Now, in the same way, can I look at my conditioning, that I'm an Arab? Just the Arab, the word, the implication of that word, follow it slowly. The religion, the script, the way it's written, why I call myself an Arab, you follow? I just see the fact as I see my face in the mirror. Because the moment I say I don't like this, I've distorted the fact. Right?
But can you do this while your conditioning is in operation?
What?
Is it possible to do this when your conditioning
Obviously,
is in operation?
it's only in operation you discover your conditioning. If you lived in the Arab world, in a little village, and everybody's Arab, you don't even think about it. But the moment you go outside and they say there is a Christian or a Muslim or you follow a Jew or a Hindu, you say, by Joe, you begin to see the conditioning. So through action, through reaction, through relationship, you discover your conditioning. This is what is happening now, isn't it? What is happening now is we are talking about it. In the talking about it, you become conscious that you might be conditioned. So you become aware of it, and so on and so on.
That's like a slow process that's on.
Either, I said so, either it's a slow process, bit by bit by bit by bit, or as you come into the room, you see the whole thing. See the walls, the shape of the roof, the tree outside, the grass, the daisies, everything you see at a glance. Can you do that?
Well, not all the time.
Huh?
Not all the time.
No, forget all the time. If you can see at one instant the whole thing, why do you need to have all the time? Each time you see it.
But the room is outside of you.
What?
The room is outside.
So I said that. The room is outside. The face in the mirror is outside. Now, how do you look at yourself, who is not in the mirror, who is not the room, which is not the carpet? How do you look at yourself?
Always after.
Find out how do you look at yourself. Apply your brain, your capacity. Think it out. Find out. How am I to look at myself, which is not in the mirror, right? How am I to look at myself? Go on. Don't stop.
One way is to look at your actions and your reactions
That's
of other people
Yes,
to your
that's
actions.
That's all. You discover yourself, see yourself through your actions, through your reactions. that you're angry, that you compare yourself, that you're unhappy, that you're irritable. You see all that.
But it's always in the past.
Wait, that's good enough. Begin there. You see, you're already ahead without observing the facts. The fact is, through reaction and action, in relationship, obviously, I discover myself. I discover I'm terribly greedy. Because you've got a very nice pair of trousers, and I like those to have. Or whatever it is, I'm greedy. That is, in observing you, the reaction comes into being, and that reaction is greed. So I say, Baijo, look, I've discovered something which I haven't seen in the mirror. Right? I've discovered that I am greedy. Then I say, what's wrong with it? Why should I be greedy? Go on, so why shouldn't I be greedy? What's wrong with being greedy? So I investigate why I'm greedy, why I shouldn't be greedy. Right? Right? Do you want to examine it? Go into it. Go into it for yourself. Our whole society is based on it. Right? Production, usage, wastage, deliberate wastage. Produce a car that lasts 2 years, so that you'll buy a new car at the end of 2 years. So, you follow? So, a society, parents, grandparents, the whole people around me are encouraging me to be greedy. Because our society is partly based on commercialism, production, consumerism. Right? So, I see that, and I say, what's wrong with it? Why shouldn't I live that way? Go on, tell me, why shouldn't I live that way?
But on the other hand, I think that we've also been taught not to be greedy.
Why? Why are we taught not to be greedy? Is that another superstition?
No,
Is that another conditioning?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I feel if I
So
don't-
I am conditioned to be greedy.
Yes.
I'm also conditioned not to be greedy.
Right.
Right? So what shall I
So
do?
I can't look at. So
I look
can't
at both.
question it.
Right? I look at both. You're getting what I'm saying? I don't say I'm not greedy. I mustn't be. I say, why am I greedy? There is pleasure in having many things, pleasure in possession, and which is encouraged by commercialism, consumerism, production. Right? And also I've been encouraged not to be greedy. Conditional. Why? Go on, why am I conditioned not to be greedy?
Isn't it because part of my conditioning is also involves an ideal situation?
Why? Find out. I'm encouraged to be greedy. I'm also encouraged not to be greedy. Not to be greedy is to be an ideal, is an ideal. Why all this? Go on, lady. Book it out, think it out. When I'm greedy, I'm being terribly self-concerned. I'm concerned about myself, my greed, my possession, my coats, my trousers, my hats, and oh God knows whatever. And society also tells me, religions also tell me, don't be greedy. You follow? One side they encourage me. See the stupidity of it. Huh? One side, the whole society says, do be greedy. The other side says to me, don't be greedy. Because when you're greedy, it's terribly self-centered. And when you're very self-centered, you can't cooperate, you can't love, you follow? All that. So you're caught between the two. And the struggle begins. I am greedy, but my God, I mustn't be greedy. Right?
And that creates conflict.
Huh? That's it.
Creates conflict, and with that comes pain.
Yeah, that's a conflict. And so, throughout life, you live in conflict. Not only with your wife and husband, but also in yourself. I'm greedy, I'm ambitious, I'm cruel, I mustn't be, you're being violent, all that. You follow? In this turmoil, you live. Now, are you aware of all this? Not out there, but in yourself.
I can be aware of it after my reaction.
All right. Even after your reactions, you are aware of it. So next time you're much more alive to see your reactions. Right? I may observe my reaction after it's over, the incident. But that very observation becomes acute as I begin to see. Each time I say, but you look what's happening.
That involves time.
Huh? That's all right. Begin with there. You see, you've got another greed coming in. Just watch it. What one is trying to point out is the acuteness and the quickness of observation. Not whether it takes time. If you see your reaction when it is over and say, look, I've been greedy, watch it, right? And leave it. Next time you see in the window a pair of shirt, whatever it is, and then you're quick, you follow?
But when we observe, it's so difficult to stop at the observing, not to condemn it.
That just
Because
don't.
it goes straight
We
ahead.
have. That's what I'm. Reward and punishment. That's what we are trained upon. Like a monkey, like the animals that the people are. People train monkeys, tigers, all the animals. Reward, and then punishment. If you behave properly, you're rewarded with a piece of meat or whatever they do. Or you're punished. And we have been brought up on that. Now, to be just aware of it, don't wait, just look at yourself in the mirror. You follow? So look at yourself in the reactions, which is yourself. Now I've come back to my original point. I must stop, it's 1:15. Can you bring about a life of goodness here? So that you're a marvelous human beings. But stop, we'll go on next time. May we stop? It's lunchtime. Shall we stop? Huh? What do you say? Shall we stop? You tell me and I'll sit here till you tell me. Huh?
Let's stop.
Let's stop, right.